All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. All right, double honors to the apostles and salutations to you brothers doing this thing in sincerity and truth and with charity. And let's get a few precepts, man, showing that Israel was at different points, even and now, man, are counted as Gentiles. All right, we're gonna get some precepts proving that, man, because the Gentiles are getting saved in the New Testament, man. All right, it's not actual heathens, man. It's Israelites. Point blank, period, man. Even when you click on the word ethnos, all right, it even tells you of the 12 tribes sometimes, man. Because sometimes Israel was called Gentiles. In fact, that's probably going to title it. Israel was called Gentiles sometimes. All right, something like that, man. Along those lines, the spirit to be there. So you can start with Romans 9. Start Romans 9 in verse 4.
This is Romans 9 and 4. Who are Israelites to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenant and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises.
Right. So it says, basically said, this is my brethren Israelites who received these things, man. They got the covenants, the law, the promises that serve the Lord, the service of the Lord, Yahweh. All right, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. That's the Israelites, man. And guess what? A lot of these niggas don't follow the ways of the Lord, man. So guess what? They're not counting as Israelites. Keep going.
Verse 5. Who's the father, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Mashiach came, who is over all power, blessed forever. Amen.
All right, go ahead. Sit.
Verse 6. Not as though the word of Yahweh, the Most High, have taken none effect, for they are not all which are of Israel.
Read that over.
Verse 6. Not as though the word of the Most High have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
There you go. So all Israel ain't counted of Israel, man. All right, that's why I believe it's Colossians. It says the Israel of God, man. All right, that's the Israelites, man. All right. Now go to John 8. Because you got to, like I said, man, not all Israel is counted as Israel. And then the next verse goes into the seed of Abraham. Man, you got to be counted as the seed of promise. All right, it's about the works. You either do the works of Abraham, which is having faith and works to prove that faith, or you're not counted as Israelite, man. All right, all Israel ain't counted as Israel. So what if they be counted as? They count as heathens, Gentiles. And we're going to prove it, man. All right. Real quick, this is Romans 2. And I'm going to start at 23. Because this lets you know that even the book of Romans was written to Israelites in Rome anyway. Okay? Point blank period, man. Romans 2 and I'm going to start at 17 and skip down. This is Romans 2 and 17. Behold, thou art called a Jew, and restest in the law, and makest thy boast of the Most High. So he's talking to Israelites in Rome. Now there were wicked Israelites in Rome, all right, that supposedly was to keep the law but was being wicked. And there were Israelites in Rome that at one point grew up as heathens, but then came into the law of things, man. Okay? And that's the whole point. Israelites that Israelites that forefathers forsook the covenant, but these men, now hearing the truth, like, damn, I'm going to serve the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now they're no longer called Gentiles. They're coming back into their heritage, which you're going to get into. Israel lost their heritage, man. Okay? So now this is Romans 2 and 23. Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonorest thou the Most High. For the name of the Most High is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, as it is written. So wicked as Israelites, man, guess what? The Lord don't count them as Jacob. All right? No matter if they claim to be keeping the law, claim to believe, if they're not actually doing what's right, then they're not counted as Israelites, man. We're going to get proof of that, man, with a couple of counts. For circumcision verily profited if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. Now, does that mean they rod physically just got foreskin back on it because they wasn't really keeping the law? No. It means they're counted as the seed of the uncircumcised. They're counted as Gentiles. All right? And I'm going to read verse 26 for the sake of it. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? Now, this is going into Israelites coming back into the heritage, man. Ephesians, the 2nd chapter. All right? 1 Corinthians 12. Ye were once Gentiles, man. How can you be a Gentile, but now you're not one? All right? Because it ain't talking about that, man. It's talking about actual Israelites that at one point wasn't keeping the laws of the Lord, man. But now they're coming back into their heritage. And it's that simple. All right? Verse 27. I'm going to keep going. Because it's going to get plain. And shall not uncircumcision... go to 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter real quick. And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature... All right? All right? Which means physical, by physical doings. So this is talking about the physical uncircumcision. They ain't talking about being uncircumcised, spiritually, being actually of the seed of the uncircumcised. No. It's talking about the physical uncircumcision, right? And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision does transgress the law. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly. And circumcision is that of the heart, and the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of man, but of the Most High. So for one, only Israel even had the opportunity to do this. We read in Romans 9, the 4th verse. Only Israel can serve the Lord. Only Israel can keep the law. We said the giving of the law. And then it said what? That's what makes you actually a Jew, man, an Israelite. Not only because you're of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but you actually got to do the works. All right, as we're reading. That's what makes you count as of the seed of the circumcised. That's what really makes you an Israelite. Outside of that, guess what? You're counted as the uncircumcised. All right, even if, hey, look, and that's the point. 1 Maccabees 1, let me see. Right, this is going to be over here. Started 11. Because remember, it said this uncircumcision by nature. So it's talking about your physical circumcision. Alright? Not them being actual fucking heathens. Go ahead.
This 1 Maccabees 1 and 11. In those days, with there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsake the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and they were sold to do mischief. Right.
It says they forsook the law, uncircumcised themselves, all right, and joined themselves to the heathen. So they started to call themselves heathens. So, and that's the time of Maccabees, during the Greeks. So what do you think happened? There were children born into these people that called themselves Greeks. Because that became a thing, you know. You didn't have to be an actual Greek by birth, you know, of the line of Japhet to be called a Greek. As you just had to be Hellenized. So in this point in time, Yahweh Shai came, lived, died, and was raised again to bring Israel back to their heritage, as we read, concerning whose fathers our Lord was crucified. All right? To bring us back to being Israelites, man. But nevertheless, the wicked, those who don't keep the laws, those who don't follow the truth the right way, they're not counted as Israelites. They're counted as uncircumcised. And there's the show, that was to show the uncircumcision of the flesh. All right, by nature. Israelites that forsook the covenant, man. But now the Lord gave us a chance back. It's that simple. So now you got John 8:37.
God. This is John 8:37. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yahushua said unto them, if ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham.
There you go. So that he just told him, look, if you was Abraham's children, then you would do his works. So you're not following Yahweh Hashem Yahushua properly, and you're not counting as the seed of Abraham. All Israel is not counted as Israel. Just like it said at the verse after, man. Hey, just because you seed of Abraham, you got to be the seed of promise, man. It's that simple. All right, so they wasn't counted, man. You got something?
I'm looking for it. Want me to get what?
Your 1 Corinthians 12:2. This is Slaki. You get that, but go to History of Susanna in the Potiphar, the first chapter.
We're done with the John. 163.
155, Susanna.
So read. This is the history of Susanna 1:55. It says, and Daniel said very well, thou hast lied against thine own head, for even now the angel of Yahweh, the Most High, hath received the sentence of the Most High to cut thee into two. So he put him aside and commanded to the seed to bring the other, and said unto him, O thou seed of Canaan, and not of Judah.
Right. Now he's actually talking to Israelites, man. He said, look, you're not counted as the seed of Judah, man. All right, why is that? Because they were being wicked. They was actually elders amongst in Israel. But he said, look, man, you ain't the seed of Israel, man. You a Hamite. He said, look, you a Hamite, because they was doing wickedness, man. They was committing adultery. They was using their power to commit adultery with women. And if a woman didn't agree with them, they would lie to the council to get her killed. So Daniel, like, look, man, he was exposing their ass. Like, look, y'all Canaanites, man. Y'all ain't Israelites. Why? Because they was doing things after the manner of Canaan. They was doing wicked shit. Committing adultery. Then lying to get people murdered if they didn't commit the wicked acts. All right? So that's what was happening. He clearly called them Canaanites, even though they were Israelites. But for their wickedness' sake, they were called Canaan, man. All right? Now you can get to 1 Corinthians 12:2. It was most of that verse? Go ahead.
Beauty have deceived thee, and lust have perverted thine heart.
There you go, Salaki Khan. And it said, lust perverted thine heart, man. Meaning they turned things around, man. So they wasn't following the laws. They faked like they were, but they weren't, man. So, and that's why they were called Hamites, man. They were perverted. They were gone away from the path, man. They were turned away. Just as it said in that John 8, man. They weren't counted the seed of Abraham. All right, just like Romans 9, all Israel ain't Israel, man. You gotta be an Israelite inwardly, man. You gotta be serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in truth and sincerity, man. That's what John 4:22 tells you. All right, them that serve the Lord must serve Him in spirit and in truth. All right, Salaki, that's John the 4th chapter. It's a little under the 22nd verse, I believe. You can go ahead. Yeah.
1 Corinthians 12:2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led.
There you go. You know you were Gentiles. And then why? It tells you why. As you were carried away with these dumb idols. That's why they were called Gentiles, man. They wasn't serving the Lord no more. If you're not serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're serving an idol. Even if you fake serving the Lord, man, but you're doing all type of wickedness. That's Colossians 3:5, man. You're going after your own covetousness, pride, whatever. Hey, that's idolatry, man. Alright, so that's why they were called Gentiles. They were following the ways of the heathens. And they actually were serving fucking idols, man. Alright? They was heavy into that shit, man. Now you can get Psalms 96:5. Mm-hmm. It really is plain, man. Like the scriptures say, precept upon precept. You can't refute these scriptures, man. Israelites are being called Gentiles.
This is Psalm 96:5. For all the gods of the nations are idle, but the Lord made the heavens.
And that's plain, man. That's a heathen custom. Just as we read in Maccabees, it says they followed the ways of the heathens and then attached themselves to the heathens. All right, what did that mean? They started to serve idols, and so therefore they became Gentiles. That's what the heathen serve, idols. All right, you can get the 106th chapter, and verse 34.
Psalms 106 and 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord concerning whom Yahweh commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare to them.
There you go. So they didn't just. This is talking about Israel when we got to our land. But what happened? They didn't kill off the people. But nevertheless, what else they do? They actually mingled themselves, man. They mixed themselves among the heathen and learned their works. So they served idols, and in learning their works, what did they do? They mingled. They was mixed amongst the heathens. They was counted as heathens, man. Plain and simple. You can get you got something? No. You can get Ezekiel 20.
We're done with that.
Kind of.
Start at the top.
Start at verse 20. It's like 31.
This is Ezekiel 20 and 31. For when ye offer your gifts, when ye make your sons to pass through the fire, you pollute yourselves with all your idols, even unto this day, and shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel, as I live, saith Yahweh, I will not be inquired of by you.
Right, so the Lord is saying, well, look, I'm not going to be inquired of by you, meaning he's going to cast Israel from his face. All right? And for a certain amount of time, the Lord is going to forsake Israel, basically, man. But only for a certain amount of time, because that's the important part. Yes, Israel was called Gentiles, but the Lord wasn't going to cast us off forever. Go ahead.
Verse 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the country, to serve wood and stone.
Come. And so there you go. He said, in their mind, this is what Jacob's doing. They think they're going to just be as the fucking heathens and serve these idols. The Lord said, no, that's not going to be the case. The Lord was going to punish us and then bring his remnant back. All right? Keep going.
Verse 33. As I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you.
Go ahead.
and I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fear poured out.
There you go. So the Lord said, look, in your minds you think that you're going to serve these heathens. I mean, be as heathens and serve idols. But he said, look, I'm going to pour you through, man. I'm going to fucking gather you. I'm going to gather you from the places you've been scattered. Which shows that the Lord, as he said, he was going to jack us up, scatter us abroad, like it says in Deuteronomy 28. But then what? The salvation was to come as well, man. That's the whole point. The Lord's only going to cast us off for a short moment, man. Not forever, like it says in Lamentations, the 3rd chapter, man. The Lord wouldn't cast off forever. All right? You can get Jeremiah 17 and start at 1.
You done with this?
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 17:1. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron, and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart, and upon the horns of your altars.
Keep going.
Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. On my mountain in the field I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy highest places for sin throughout all thy borders. And thou even thyself shalt distant from thy inheritance that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Right. So there you go. The Lord said he's going to cast us off for a moment. Plain as day. He was going to cast us off, man, for the wickedness that our forefathers have done, man. For the wickedness we did, man, what it says, idolatry, man. All right, serving in the groves. All right, the Lord's pissed at this stuff, man. He said it was written with a diamond point, man. That means it's scratching that good, man. All right. So if you lose your heritage, what do you become? If the nation of Israel lost their heritage, what did they become? That's a simple question for you Christians. Now what are they? They not a people, man. And just like Deuteronomy say, they became not a people. So they were just called Gentiles, man. Every Proverbs and bywords, like it says in Deuteronomy 28, man. They were called black. There's no land called black. Mexicans. That was a name that they put on them, man. There wasn't no place called Mexico, man. Puerto Ricans, another byword that Edomites put on them, meaning rich port. Called them Indians, which means savages. They did all that wickedness, man. They put them titles upon our people. We became not a people. Lord took our heritage away. We were just Gentiles. We were just fucking heathens, man. Alright? It's that simple. But the Lord brought us back. In fact, we're gonna end it with these next two. Get Hosea 1. Start at 9.
This Hosea 1:9. Then said the Most High call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
Kind. So the Lord says he's going to cast us off. Lo Ami, Amaya, not my people. All right? But then after that period of time when he felt ready to redeem us back, he said, look, in a place where it was said, you're not the sons of the living power, when you were called everything but Israelites, all right, then shall it be known that ye are my people, man. And guess what? Paul quotes this, which proves ultimately that Israel was Gentiles, And that's the actual Gentiles that's getting saved in the New Testament, man. Get Romans 9. You have more than that?
That was
In fact, keep going. We can finish up the next verse off.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel he be gathered together to and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Israel.
That's right. So Israel and Judah is going to be united. And just like it says in Romans 11, this fall had to happen so the rest of Israel can come back, man. All right? That's been the lesson, man, about the Sinai, man. All right? The grafted in. So get Romans 9 and start at 24.
Romans 9 and 24.
Because really, if you read Romans 9 straight through, it's pretty plain who them Gentiles are. Move, dog, stop. Go ahead.
Even us whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
Sit. Go ahead.
As he
Slack, read that over.
Romans 9:24, even us whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
Right? So let's go there. It says, not the Jews only, but also the Gentiles. Keep going. Let's see who these Gentiles are.
As he saith also in OC.
And OZ is the Greek way of saying Hosea. That's right. God.
I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, we are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
There you go. Down, Wolf. Down. All right, so it said, read that over.
Verse 26, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
Come on, he's quoting Hosea. He's telling you who the Gentiles are, man. Plain as day, he's telling you who the Gentiles are. The same as Hosea. Israelites that were cast off. Alright, and part of the cast off, Deuteronomy 28, the curses, says what, man? That you should serve other gods, wood and stone. So Israel was given over to that madness, man, because they forsook the Lord. So he made them deal with that shit until he brought them back. Alright, like you said, look, what comes to your mind ain't going to be, you're not going to be as the heathens. Alright? For that moment, the Lord allowed it because he was punishing our ass, man. But now, he sent his son to redeem us from the curse. So now we can come back and serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, now we can come back to our heritage, which is this truth, this knowledge, this understanding. We can now become the seed of Abraham again, having the faith of Abraham and doing the works of Abraham, man. All right, the scriptures literally say Yahweh Shai became a curse to deliver us from the curse, man. All right? You got something?
I was going to read Proverbs 1 and 22.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 1 and 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
Go bring it down. Go
God, when it says, that's talk about the Gentiles, how long will you love simplicity?
That's right, Con. Yeah, that's simple, man. That's a dumb way of thinking. All right, for one, it says the mystery of the Gentiles. What is the mystery yet? Secondly, the scriptures say precept upon precept. So you got to break it down the right way. The Lord said, I'll open my mouth in parables, man. So this book is a big riddle. So to say, the Gentiles just getting saved are fucking actual Gentiles, man, you being simple-minded, man. Esau been teaching that shit for the longest. And white Jesus came for the Gentiles. Okay, if that's the case, all these billions of Christians woke up. Why the fuck we ain't been delivered yet? Because that was bullshit. How long will you love simplicity, man?
And that's what it says, and fools hate knowledge.
That's right. And we give you the truth right here, plain as day. The Romans 9, when it says the Jews and the Gentiles are getting saved, literally quotes Hosea when it's talking about the Israelites being casted away and coming back to their heritage. That's the Gentiles. Israelites that were forsaken but now coming back to their heritage, man. Alright? And you can't get that, it's not for you. You got more? Con. So with that, hopefully this is edifying. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles. And salutation to you brothers doing this thing in sincerity and truth and with charity. Shalom.
Shalom.